so I'm a moral supremacist and not a socialist in terms of what comes to mind when you say socialist. There are elements of my proposal that have socialist aspects, big time. In this video, I'm going to help you understand the difference between being a moral supremacist with universal pinpointing moral precision, okay, and focused moral intensity, okay, and a socialist and a communist, and so on and so forth. All right, first of all, they're changing my image and my look, etc. Right? I'm not a nerd. I'm actually 100% against the idea of nerds because on top of their lack of manning up and doing the right thing historically, their definition is a foolish and contemptible person for a good reason. Okay, they have come together to misrepresent the way I sound and the way I look by hacking my phone, fuming me, and poisoning me. Okay, that's key here. So don't confuse the way I look with who I am. Socialism, a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. So immediately, what are the differences here? I believe in a moral monarchy, right? That I'm in charge and that it's something that cannot exist after I'm gone because people have bred to do the wrong thing due to tech breeding and ill-gotten gains, generational rebellion, etc. Okay? And that this moral monarchy, okay, would rule over the system. Now, this is different than what I'm proposing for my war on poverty plan, okay, and my mass redistribution plan, where I propose redistributing $50 trillion from the millionaires and billionaires in this country. There's over 20 million millionaires, and there's 600 billionaires, as the story goes, and some of these people have many millions of dollars. I would plan to leave them with only $10,000 or so each, okay, and would push them toward my job programs, okay, for being caught with ill-gotten gains, having gamed the system, okay. They have illogic. They're deluded. They're living in an illusion where it's okay to be rich while people suffer, while people are hooked on drugs, while people are confused, used, and abused. And that is evil. It's uncivilized. It's barbaric. It's disgusting. All right. So again, I'm a moral supremacist advocating for a morally precise monarchy, which is the Royal African Falcon, focused moral intensity, martial art order, with universal pinpointed moral precision. Because through martial arts, I've expressed morality and I've tapped into it on a level that no businessman, no scientist, no church person, etc. could ever claim to have, right? In the Bible, it says the kingdom of heaven isn't a matter of speech or talk, but it's a matter of power, right? Conveyed spiritual power. Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a warrior, the Lord is his name. In a secular system, we can replace the idea of God with righteousness and justice, the source of righteousness and justice in its true form. Okay, all good, all knowing, all powerful, right? Okay. So that's for those of you who aren't religious. Now, what is the problem with socialism? Okay, why don't I just say, hey, you know what? Let the people who vote for stupid things all the time, who come together in stupid groups, okay? They come together as drug dealers. They come together as corporate lunatics. They come together to human traffic. They come together to vote for corrupt politicians. They have a long history of coming together for stupid things. They often refer to themselves, unwittingly and otherwise, as sheep and lemmings, and libtards, conservative racists, and so on and so forth, okay? Where they tend to be right tends to be in regards to their insufficiencies and each other's insufficiencies. Okay. So the social clubs, the frats, the secret societies, the corporate groups, they have undermined the moral fabric of society. They've made sure that society isn't moral. Their jobs, their processes, their activities include social engineering for the purpose of preventing morality from ruling the day, if you will, from being conveyed through the system and from people dating in a way that's moral. They are eugenicist-run organizations. Okay, the Greeks and Plato were talking about eugenics and reproduction being controlled by the groups behind the state. Okay, the Romans, right, the 12 tablets of Rome or whatever it's called, they were talking about eugenics. Northern Europeans, Francis Galton, okay, Freemasons, these were eugenicists. Francis Galton was a famous and well-respected eugenicist of his time and a Freemason. Okay, so these guys have a long history of pretending that their corrupt education system that doesn't take into account various forms of intelligence and ways of learning, when it assigns importance, when it assigns degrees, etc. Okay, they want to pretend that people who are more educated than others and more socially normative in the eyes of the corrupt are superior and should inhabit this planet, while they do things like gentrify the cities, which is control the genes in the city and kind of push certain types out. Socialism, like communism, was made by people who are best described as Luciferians or Satanists, okay, who wanted to get rid of the Royal African Falcon genes and anybody who seemed like them. That was the purpose of it. These guys, like Marx and Engels, they talk about free love. A righteous warrior does not want to share his women with different people. They just don't want to do it. A righteous warrior would never dream of banning monotheism. Okay, so I'm definitely not a communist. And socialists, basically are people in social clubs and social groupings and frats and secret societies who argue that the means should be controlled by the people because they control enough of the people to control how things will go from there, because they are part of a kind of pyramid-like social club structure, secret society structure. They give degrees like 33rd and 1/3 degree Freemason, entered apprentice, fellowship, master craft, okay? Grand lodges, right? These people have a pyramid structure and they influence social life with it, okay? So by now you should have no doubt in your mind that I am not a socialist, I'm not a communist, but I'm someone who advocates a moral structure, a moral order, a morally precise monarchy where the power is with the most moral person and there's moral committees that help him make sure that his logic is morally precise. And I advocate for transparency, where I'm willing to be on camera all day, every day, except for when I'm in the shower or bathroom. And that's it, even when I sleep. So people see that I live a humble life. They see that I have no ulterior motives. They see that everything is on the up and up. My system is obviously superior to anything anyone else has to offer. So, do Americans deserve the best system? Do they deserve moral precision? Or should they just act like Luciferian ninnies, chasing after hedonistic pursuits at the expense of others? Okay, with a catastrophically high rate of suicides, a high rate of drug abuse, a high rate of rape and child abuse, and on, because there isn't a moral culture. Okay, Luciferian liberation has failed you. Okay, social club, fraternity, secret society, run and assisted and guided liberation has failed you. You need the true freedom that comes from being morally precise. Without justice, righteousness, and moral precision, there is no such thing as freedom in that individual.